we have now, for the past 2 weeks, we have started on a new topic called professional development and academic writing skills. And last 2 weeks, we actually briefed through about what is professional development, what are the kinds of professional development, why professional development is important, right? And so, because some of you all asked a question whether we will have an assignment for this. I'm sorry, can you all see the screen, students? Can you all see? Rivka, can you see the screen? Yes, right?
Not yet, ma'am.
Oh, really? Sorry. Share. What about now, students? Can you all see or no?
Only Teams window, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Let me show the slides. Can you all see the slides now?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. Right. So just to quickly recap, because Taranga had a question whether we will have an assignment on professional development and academic writing skills. The answer is yes. You will have an assignment, but that assignment will be released only in November, right? And you will have deadline until December. So what you all are doing now is task 1, which has learning outcome 1 and 2, and task 2, learning outcome 3 and 4. Of the module that we did on what you call in healthcare management, right? The very, very first topic, right? Now, this is a new topic which we have been doing for the past 2 weeks, that is professional development and academic writing skills. So you need to have a pass in this, and it's actually a report that you need to write, and it's mandatory that you pass it, right? So up until the last 2 weeks, we have been understanding what is principles of professional development, right? So by now, you all need to know what is professional development. I'm just trying to recap fast so that you all remember, because it's like a 1 week break that we couldn't come here, right? So all of y'all know what you mean by to develop yourselves professionally. I said it's about how you talk, how you write, and then also how even you dress up, right? So for example, if you are going for a conference or a seminar or for a job, you can't wear the clothes that you usually sleep with or the one that you are just at home, right? You need to wear professionally, because there is a saying that when you dress well, you are going to gain confidence, and then automatically you're going to give that vibe of a professional, and you could see that the people around you also feeling that, okay, this person is now professionally dealing things, he's professionally dressed up, he speaks professionally, he writes professionally. So this atmosphere, we all need to behave professionally. So that is why a professional development means how you develop yourselves in terms of writing, in terms of dressing, in terms of speaking, everything, in terms of your behavior, everything, right? And then we will learn today a little bit more about how you can overcome certain barriers in professional development. So I said last week also, there could be certain challenges that we could have. Sometimes you might have made a mistake in your company, or maybe you have made a mistake with your boss, but there are situations in that times how you could handle the situation professionally, right? So for example, usually the ladies, if a boss starts to scold them, sometimes they can cry automatically. That's normal. It has happened to even me. I have cried, I have broken down in front of employees, I have broken down in front of my boss, and that is normal. But they sometimes they try to emphasize, do not cry, it's a sense of weakness. No, sometimes I don't agree, because we are all humans, and people take stress in different ways. Some people cope the stress very well, some people don't cope the stress very well, and it's really okay. Sometimes guys, men usually, when they are upset or when they are angry, they tend to not to talk to anybody, they go on a complete silent mode. That is how they deal things. But the women, usually we tend to cry, we have breakdowns, emotional meltdowns, and that's okay. But the way I'm telling about professional development means like for example, if you have an issue, try to solve it that person. then and there, rather than going and telling everybody about your problem or publishing it to everybody. It's better if you are having the issue with a colleague, you talk to that colleague directly. If you have an issue with your boss, you talk to your boss directly. That is a professional development that you need to do. And certain barriers, so sometimes if it is an English speaking company, sometimes you might find hard to communicate with English, or you might find hard to write a professional email in English. So in those situations, you could ask someone like a close colleague to help you in this, or maybe you can even talk your own native language to give across your opinion or what you're struggling with. So it's really okay, because you cannot underestimate somebody if they cannot use the language fluently, because the person who cannot use the language fluently does not mean that they are not capable. They are capable, they are talented. It's just that sometimes language is not their strong suits. Okay, so it doesn't matter as long as you know how you can overcome a situation professionally, right? And then also how you determine different sources available for professional development. So for example, today we know we have to communicate through text messages like WhatsApp or LinkedIn or even Facebook, right? Professionally you can deal it, and emails also, right? So there are sources. And today we know, like I said last time, you need to be very good in your computer skills, in your statistics, in your mathematics, in your communication, in your writing, because I said these are skills, no matter how many years pass or how many generations to come, these are skills that's never gonna go out of fashion, right? It's gonna be there. That is essential every generation or every era. Like for example, you can't say like, maths is not important now. Like maths is something, no matter how many years passes, it's going to be an important skill. So whoever can do mathematics really fast, whoever can do math calculations in the mind, these are like really good skills that any company or any organizations can hire you for, right? And then analyzing factors to consider when selecting opportunities and activities for keeping knowledge and practice up to date. So try to remember the example that I gave you last time, like between the Nokia and also between the Android, right? So I said today, and not Android and Apple, but Android and Nokia. So Nokia eventually lost out of the market. They actually couldn't keep a place anymore because they couldn't keep up with the things that is up to date, that is upcoming. But Android, on the other hand, they kept on their things up to date, and they were very aware about what the customers wanted, and their competitor like iPhones, they always try to compete with them, so they were always up in the game, right? So like for us also, we always need to be up to date with everything, right? So we have few like 1.3 and 1.4 to discuss today, so we will do that. And the second one is to be able to develop goals and targets for their own professional development. So every one of us, regardless of age, regardless of our gender, regardless of our ethnicity, regardless of our nationality, we all have our goals, our targets, dreams, and ambitions. And I always emphasize, you have to have life goals, you have to have life targets. If not, you will not feel motivated to get up the next day and to do something. So like I always told y'all, like we all have stressful situations, like we always have stressful moments, but always try to have some kind of a hobby so that you have something to look forward to other than your work. So for example, if you guys are married and have kids, it can be even more challenging because your responsibility on your wife, on your husbands, on your children, in your career, right? And sometimes you feel, okay, I don't have anything that I invest on myself personally. So which is why you have to have some personal goals, personal hobbies, personal skills that you have to work on. So for example, if you want to be more fit, go and hit the gym. Or if you feel like you want to relax your mind more, try to do something like painting. You can learn to play an instrument, right? So certain things, don't ever limit yourself saying that, okay, now I'm old, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s. No, it never matters. Like I told y'all, the biggest accomplishment for me to see all of y'all taking up this course regardless, because some of y'all are not even in science field, some of y'all are completely like different majors, but still y'all chose to come into healthcare management, and y'all realized y'all not just learned about healthcare management, but y'all learned so many things that could help your own life, right? So that is also a professional development that y'all are doing for yourselves, right? And then in under this, you need to know how to create smart goals, which we will learn today. That is like your focus, your time management, and then how you multitask sometimes. Like I said last week, also I said sometimes it's not about because we don't have proper time management. It is simply because we have a lot to do in a given limited time. This is the reality for so many of us. So we cannot blame anybody saying, oh, you don't have proper time management, that's why you are not finishing anything on time, that's why you can't meet deadlines. You cannot blame, because situations now is very different compared to 10, 15 years ago. One thing is the technology is very developed, everything works very fast, and your companies, your bosses, everybody expects to do things very fast. They want a very quick response, they want a very quick what do you call a quick outcome, a quick what do you call a results. And this can put a lot of us in pressure and stress. It's the truth. It's true for me, it's true for you all, it's true for everybody, right? But there are ways we can work smartly, right? Which we will learn today, right? And how we can determine appropriate goals and targets. So for example, if you have a goal to say lose weight, let's say your weight is now 85 kilos, and let's say that you want to bring your weight to maybe, um, let's say 80 kilos. Okay, so you have to make a little bit realistic goals. You don't need to bring your weight ideally 10 kilos down all at once, maybe 5 kilos in 1 month, right? So that is like 1 kilo per week if you could reduce it. And how you are going to do, what is the food that you are going to take, what is the food that you are going to not take, what is the amount of water you are going to put to your body, the amount of sugar, the amount of salt, like that. You need to have an appropriate goal, and we call that realistic goals. So even though you have to bring your weight, let's say 85, but your real weight that should be ideally 75, you can't directly bring your weight 75. You need to do step by step. So that is why it's like breaking a big elephant into small pieces. So even in our own lives, when we have a lot of things to do, write it down in your notebook or in your journal or in your to-do list what you need to do. So I always do this when I have so much of work to do. I just first of all take a cup of coffee and I just sit down. I take a deep breath, and then I just write down everything that I need to do, things that I need to do for my personal self, what I need to do for for my students in school, for the students in my lectures. I just categorize everything, and then I start one by one, maybe in each of those category, and then I give a tick. And when I see the tick going on, I get the motivation, and I feel like, okay, I'm making progress, and I feel like, okay, I'm slowly getting there in finishing my task. So this is also a development that you bring in yourself, right? So eventually you can feel that although you have a lot of work, how you are doing something called smart goals, how you work smartly, right? And then the last one is assess learning opportunities to meet objectives and reflect personal learning style. So for example, reflect. So for example, all of us before the next new year comes, even though like we always try, always make sure that I write down all the good and the bad things that happened to me in that year. And I always try to realize, okay, where did I go wrong? What could I have done for this to not happen? What would I do? So certain things, no matter how much you're careful, sometimes the mistakes can happen without your knowledge. Sometimes some certain things in our lives comes without unexpectedly, like without any precautions. No matter how much careful you are, it just happens. That's life. But if you learn something from that accident or that tragedy or that mistake, and if you do not repeat that again, that means you have learned something very valuable and you have developed a skill to sort of reflect in your past mistakes and not to repeat it again. So like I say, experience will always be your best teacher, right? That is also a development. So that is why you say reflect a personal learning style. You need to recall, you need to review what you did and what you could have done to prevent this. Okay. Anybody has any questions based on the learning outcome, students? You can ask now on this. Anybody has questions? Yes or no? I always brief through y'all because so that you can recall everything that we have done, right? So I'm going to start a new slide today of this topic. But before I move on, anybody has any question? Rifka, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, clear.
Okay, clear. Right, good. Okay. Yes. Then we need to able to prepare professional development plan. Okay, I just like to ask from your opinion. What do you mean by developing a professional development plan? Taranga or anybody, the guys or the girls, can you all answer? What do you mean by developing a professional development plan? Where does a development plan comes professionally? Can you all tell me? Students? How can you prepare a professional development plan and when do we use a professional development plan? Students, if you all interact and answer, you all can think very practically for your assignments. That's what I'm asking you all to answer. Why? What do you mean by a professional development plan? Can you all tell me? Rifka? Come on, guys, y'all could answer this. No? What do you all think about professional development plan?
We can assess. We can do a assessment for a kind of an individual, and we can based on that assessment, we can identify that individual skill level.
Very good.
Like that, and categorize that. And kind of do a kind of a review like thing. Is it?
That's a perfect answer, Rifka. Thank you so much. So this can happen. So you call it, if you're doing it for a student, you can call it as a student evaluation form. If you're doing it for an employee in a company, you can call it as an employee's evaluation form, right? Or if you are a consultant doctor and when you have medical students who are working under you for an internship, you can say an intern evaluation form. So this evaluation form is very important because you can professionally identify, okay, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses? Because everybody, like I said, when you join a new company, they will give you maximum around 6 months probation, right? They will just give you some time to see how you are adjusting to the environment, how you are talking to people, how you are dealing with people, how you are handling your stress level, how do you communicate, how do you write, how is your personality, are you friendly, are you rude, are you respectful, do you behave properly, do you use proper language, right? Everything can be assessed under this development plan, right? And so sometimes they can see an employee who joined recently the company, maybe they were very nervous, they were a little slow in picking up things, but suddenly they see by the third, fourth, fifth, 6 months, they have really done a great job. Company is now profiting, benefiting, like a huge profit is coming inflow. And now the managers and the board of directors thinking, okay, there is a good development in this employee. We are now going to continue to keep this person in our company. So it is a very good method, right? Because this is the only way you could analyze whether you can keep this person in your company or whether you kick him out. Because some people, they are genuinely working hard to secure their place. There are some people, who try to have shortcuts, don't do their work properly, not honest, nothing. So it's not a deserving thing for them to stay because there could be more people who are deserving to come into that company. So I think that is a very good way to have a development plan is by evaluating, or you can have a what you call an assessing form, just like Rifka said. So that's a good answer. And then how you can apply techniques to review the progress towards personal and professional objectives. So you can have techniques like how is their technique in speaking? You can have a one column. In communication, one column. In writing, one column. In their behavior, one column. Their attitude in life, one column. So based on that, they can give a grade 5, 4, 3, 2 marks. Now, usually now, even though I'm teaching now in Bangkok, so every teacher usually comes to assess me, and I also go to assess a teacher, and we have to submit it to our head of department. So he's a British, Mr. Phil Lanley. We have to submit to him, so he gets an idea about, okay, how is Miss Afrida assessed by the other teachers, how is Afrida assessing the other teachers, so they get to sort of cross check, right? And I think that's a good way, because one thing is I also get to see how they teach, they get to see how I'm teaching. So you learn your mistakes, you learn how much you can improve further, right? What you need to avoid doing, what you need to further do, right? So those are very important things for professional development, right? Number 4, you need to use models of reflective practice to evaluate your own development. So for example, compare models of reflective practice. Can somebody tell me what is a reflective practice that you can do? Reflective means you look back to see how far you have come in your own life. How far have you improved in your academic writing? How far have you improved in your communication skills? Right? So what kind of reflective practice can you have, students? If you all are going to do something in your own lives, what are the reflective practice that you all can have? Can anybody answer? Taranga, reflective practice, what can you bring?
What we did in past and what we are going to do in future.
Okay, Taranga, personally, how would you bring this practice, Taranga? Do you sort of look back at your life, and is there a way that you do to analyze yourself? Like, do you write? Do you think? Do you go out and sit for yourself for some time? What is your practice level? What is your technique that you use to reflect? What is the technique that you use usually? I will catch the guys also. I just want to know if Taranga is using a technique, what kind of technique do you use? Yes.
Ma'am, I think
Mm-hmm.
we can directly can't identify any people or any somebody peoples, and we should assess uh, how their past behaviors, how their present behaviors, how can uh, how will their future behaviors, and we can uh, we can get future forecast, and uh, how we face from other parties, and how uh, we business them, and uh, that we can get some knowledge from reflecting activities.
Yes. But Janaka, what is the technique you will use, Janaka? If you are saying that you are going to look at people's behavior, what technique would you use? Can you be me? I'm asking a technique, a specific technique you can use. What would you use?
As a teacher,
Uh-huh.
I am using that. I am before I teach, I am recording myself.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes I am going near to the mirror and I am teaching.
Very good. Okay.
Then I am sending my videos to my husband and asking whether it is correct or wrong, and that kind of things.
Very good. That's a very, that shows how much you are committed, determined, and how much you take your job seriously. That is very good, right? That is what I always try to tell. In life, nobody was born we all have certain talents, that I agree. We have inborn talents in us. But even with the inborn talents, if you don't practice, right, if you don't put effort and commitment to it, you are not going to get there wherever you want to go. This is the truth. So for example, I will give you an example. People who want to lose weight, I have seen, I think you must have watched in YouTube videos also. They take a picture like 6 months ago with their present weight. Let's say they are 85 kilos 6 months ago. And then they continuously, do a detox with food, we detox with exercise. And then some people try to take a picture maybe every month or every 2 weeks, and then they see a body transformation until they want to reach their goal. And it's so nice to see how their present weight was like 85 and now they have come to say 55, and you can see a complete transformation. So that's a technique. Some people take the pictures and they compare themselves how they were before and how they were now, right? That's a good way of good technique there. Even if you're a photographer can sort of take pictures, say 10 years ago. If he compares his pictures 10 years ago to now, he could see, okay, maybe I could have taken a better pictures with a good contrast of light, maybe I could have taken the pictures in a better angle, so even with our own selves, we have to make comparison, not to put ourselves down, but it's a way that we can improve ourselves. Because if we don't know how we were in the past, how are we going to make ourselves better in the future, right? So for example, if you are, let's say, a singer, right, maybe after 10 years before, you can listen to how your voice was, and now maybe you could see, okay, you're singing better, you have a better breathing control, you have a better, holding the breath better, so everything, any skill, be it the singing or being playing an instrument, being teacher, being it a painter, an artist could compare the art compared to 10 years and now, he could say, okay, maybe my mixing of colors was not that great, maybe my shading was not that great. But with practice and years of, practice and, effort put into it, you could see that you are improving on yourself. Even the people who speak English, right, you could compare yourself 10 years ago, and now you are seeing, you are talking with better grammar, with better vocabulary, with better expression. Every one of us, that's what I say, as long as you are in the game, I always emphasize, even to my students, be in the game, right? If you cannot, like for example, like let's say healthcare management was a very stressful program, maybe it was too challenging, maybe you couldn't find it interesting, don't give up. If you had the course for 6 months, hold on. You never know what you are going to accomplish after 6 months because of this course. You need to hold on, you need to see the end of it. That's why you say there's always end, there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? You need to wait for the end result and don't give up, right? So these are reflective practices. You have something to compare yourself before and now, right? And the fifth one is how you can apply appropriate academic conventions in written communication. So last time I actually brought names and I said, okay, this is not how you need to write an email. You need to have a proper subject. You need to address to the person respectfully and politely. Then you need to have a proper content in your email. What is this email about? Dear Miss So-and-so, I'm sending this email with regard to checking my assignment in task 1. Please be kind enough to give your feedback. Thank you, Rivka, whoever, right? Because why I emphasized about it is because if you are working, especially abroad, or if you want to get a job outside the country, remember you will be assessed for these skills. In life, something you have is called intelligence, IQ. There's another one called EQ, emotional quotient, right? And there's another one called SQ, social quotient, how you socialize it, right? So today the world, you are hired for a job not only for intelligence, right? So today you could see now, actually I had a friend, she said she was working in Jayawardenepura. She actually speaks English very, very well, but her research side is okay, not that great. It's okay. And she said that she worked with a girl who was working in Jayawardenepura and she had a very good research. But the problem is she couldn't present the idea to the audience. She couldn't explain what the research was about, or she couldn't convince the audience how good her research was. And that didn't take her very far because she didn't have that what do you call that skill to sort of, or the confidence to sort of deliver how what she has actually done. But that is why I say life is change. That's what I always keep on emphasizing. Speak with confidence. Don't worry if you make mistakes, because if you make mistakes, you can learn and you can improve. But if you don't try at all, and if you just keep muted, you are not going to learn at all, and you don't even know how you can improve. That is why I encourage you in these sessions to talk to me, even if you all are scared to talk in English. If you at least talk in your own native language, at least a confidence to break the barrier in giving your idea, your opinion, your thought is actually, cleared. So that's another achievement, right? You all have to understand, all of us are individuals with different opinions, with different ideas. Sometimes whatever I say, not all of you all will agree. And maybe if all of you all agree in one thing, I might not agree. That is okay. We can all disagree, we can all agree, but we must always have our own opinion. And when we have our opinion, we must need to respectfully also give our opinion, right? Whether it is accepted or not accepted, it's okay. But you need to always have your own voice, your own opinion. That is important. Okay. So academic writing is now what you all are doing about, researching, paraphrasing it, putting in text reference, checking your grammar, your spellings, what is the linking word that you guys are going to use, how you bring your introduction, how you bring your body, how you bring your conclusion. That is all academic writing. If you have to write a professional email to your lecturer, to your professor, to your boss, to your CEO, whoever it is, how do you write, right? And what kind of technique that you would do. So just after you write an email, don't just press send. No, check whether what you want to send is the attachment attached, because all those things you can be judged. They can judge you how this person is mindful about their responsibilities, how they take concentration and focus, right? So that is all development of yourself when you want to go professionally far in your life. Okay, so all this we studied last week. We learned about you need to have training, skills, knowledge, competence, capability, capacity, right? What is the difference between capability and capacity, students? Can you all tell me what is the difference between capability and capacity? Can somebody tell me what is the difference between capability and capacity, students? Anyone can anyone can answer. What is capability, capacity, and competence? Can somebody tell me the meaning of the 3 C's?
I think capability means how amount of he was attend to the how come how amount of he was attend to the he or she was attend to the one kind of some kind of job. And capacity means that's how what amount of the outcome of that.
Okay, and competence?
Competence mean no idea. I can.
Okay, thank you, Janaka, for that. At least I appreciate the effort, but you are almost there. Very good. Anybody else who can answer competence, capability, and capacity? A little bit more elaborative. Anyone who can add to Janaka or give some different examples is okay. I just want to know if you all have an idea, because these are good terms. What do you think? Anyone can answer. Guys, we have a lot of time for this module, which is why I'm going very slow, right? So take it slowly and comprehend and interact. So the assignment for this is very easy for you all. What do you all think? Competence, capability, capacity? Can you give me your answers?
Capability means ability or skills.
Very good, excellent. Yes. Capacity?
And capacity means that what is the amount, maximum amount, what is the amount that we can maintain?
Very good. Excellent. Competence?
Competent.
Rifka, can you give me an answer for competence? Because Taranga gave a good definition for capacity and capability. What is competence, Rifka? Can you give a try?
That's
Yes.
how amount of efficiency of that
Okay.
competence.
Okay.
Ability to do that.
Ability to do that. Yes, very good. So if I want to give you all some example, like if I capacity means, for example, you take a class, right? And in a class, you have, let's say, I will go with 10 students, right? In that 10 students, 5 students can go on to do maths up until at a stretch 2 to 3 hours. But the remaining 5 students, the maximum they can take up is 1 hour. That is a capacity. It doesn't mean that the other 5 students are weak or poor. It's just that the capacity, the amount of time that they can sit and hold on to listen to maths is just 1 hour. But whereas the other 5 students, they can go on for around at a stretch 2 to 3 hours. Capacity. තමන්ට දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණය. අපි ඒකයි කියන්නේ capacity එක කියන්නේ. සමහර අයට stress එක ගත්තොත් there is a capacity. Some people දවස් 7 they cannot work. Like they break down, they cry, they get stressed, you know, they get really stressed out. They cry, they cannot go more than 7 days. But some people, Hamadama, they can go on for like 7 days at a stretch. They can sleep late, they can wake up early, you know, that is their capacity. Okay. It doesn't mean that the people who can go on further is more, you can't say that they are more smarter or they are more better, because society tries to judge people based on capacity. If they feel that අපි ප්‍රෙෂර් එක දාන්න ඒ කෙනාට දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අන්න එයා තමයි මෙතන මේ ජයග්‍රහණය කරපු එක්කෙනා. That's a very wrong mindset. That's very wrong. But usually societies like that, they want to make sure who are the people who don't break down at the maximum pressure. අන්න මෙයාව තමයි කම්පැනි එකට දාගන්න ඕනේ. That is a very selfish thing to do, because at the long term, you never know, this person can mentally collapse. That's why I have seen, like, in young people in their 20s, in their teenhood, right? Sometimes when you pressure them more than that they should, the capacities breach, they can have mental breakdown. Now, I had a last week, it is very sad actually. My friend, she also did the MSc with me, but she's a Thai girl. So she's 24, and she messaged me and she said that she gave up her master's because she's going through depression, and I can understand what she's going through, because the MSc that we all did, she was all anyway, because she's Thai, they give an extra couple of years, I mean a couple of months to finish the masters. But because we are foreigners, they give us only 2.5 years, and within 2.5 years we have to finish it, because they sponsor a lot of money for us. And if they try to keep us more than that, they have to spend a lot of money for us, because our accommodation, our stipend, everything is given. So if they try to keep us long, they have to spend a lot of money. But she's a Thai, she can stay for around extra 6 months. But what happened to her is, she became very stressed out, and everybody, including me in my 20s, I have gone through depression, I have gone through breakdowns. It has happened. Like when I was in my degree, I couldn't sustain. I just took a break from university, and only after I got better, I went back for my studies. It's not because that we are not strong. We all go through different situations. So she messaged me last time and she said that she just left everything. She left her lab work, she left her research work, and she just went home. And university has, because she has submitted a medical certificate from her psychiatrist doctor because of depression, they have excused her for 2 semesters. And she was crying, and I felt like really bad and very upset, because I know when I was 21, I went through that phase also, and she's 24, and now she's 24, so she's going through at 24. So different people, some people can go in their 30s, some people go in their 35. So it is normal. That is why I say we cannot judge anybody based on a capacity, based on a capability, based on competence, because everybody, every one of us is different, and we are all at one point going to break down emotionally, physically, mentally. We are all going to break down that. And the surprising part is, this girl is very intelligent, very smart, she's very calm, කවදාවත් කලබල වෙන්නේ නැහැ, no excited. ඒ කියන්නේ හිතා ගන්නම බැරි ළමයෙක් is going through a depression. That is what stress can do to you. That is why I always emphasize to every one of y'all, all of y'all, give some time for yourself to relax mentally and physically, right? I know weekends you all have lectures. I know you all have personal problems, financial problems. I know we all have all kinds of problems. But at least a day, 1 hour, force yourself to give some mind relaxation before it consumes you in a bad way, right? So capacity is that the amount you can endure based on a stress or a pressure, because at one point you will collapse if you cannot. That's why people say හැමෝටම limit එකක් තියෙනවා, හැමෝටම දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් capacity එකක් තියෙනවා. We say it like that, right? Capability means, like for example, let's say somebody has joined the company very recently. They didn't need to have a lot of training. They already know what to do. That shows that they are capable. Maybe they are fast learners. Maybe they can understand very fast, right? So it's how much it's a capability that you have in yourself, right? It's how far you are capable of, right? And competence means the understanding, right? The knowledge behind what you are going to be taught, or what you are going to learn, or what you are going to do. You are already competent. You don't need to give additional training or additional workshops or seminars. You don't need to give those people anything, because they're already competent. They already know what to do. So this is the meaning of competence, capability, and capacity. So these are very common terms that we used under professional development, right? Can I ask a question, like some kind of like it's a bit of personal question. You all don't need to tell me on what situation, but has everybody at one point in life been depressed or gone through a certain mental breakdown because of something that has affected your lives? Yes or no, students? You all don't need to tell me the reason.
Yes.
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 How many of y'all? What about Janaka, Rifka? What about y'all? Yes or no? At some point in your life, have you all gone through not maybe a severe clinical depression, but have you all gone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. And why I ask that question is, it is not something to be ashamed of. It is not. That is why I already told you all I think 1 month ago, mental health is a very true thing. It is normal, and it is only stupid to hide that if you are sick. The problem with the society today is, when you have fever, when you have a cold, when you have some kind of a cancer or damage in your leg or arm, oh, you are sick. But when you are mentally upset, that means, oh, you're a psycho. No, you're not psycho. You're not that. People go through this. It is a very normal phase. I have gone through, my sister, she's a medical doctor. She had gone through this phase of depression when she was in medical school, and she completely quit medical school and she stayed back home for 1 year, and she even changed her university, because 20s, after you become a teenage, when you go to your 20s, you have different changes in your mind. Like, you have the pressure, what do I need to do? Now my students who are 18, who I taught in Sri Lanka, they are going through certain situations in life, and they contact me, they call me, and and I feel very upset for them, because some people can't spend the money to the university that they want to go. They ask for advice, right? They ask me, Miss, what should I do now? And I remember when they were 15, I told them, when you become 18 and 20, your lives will change a lot. You will go through a lot of challenges. I have a student, he's now 19. Yeah, 19. When I was teaching him, he was 15. His father was a dialysis patient. Mother was also sick. He is the child who is to take care of both the mother and father. And at 18, he went into drugs and smoking and a lot of things. And he came back to me asking what he should do to get over these habits. So I guided him, I counseled him, I advised. So it is not a shameful thing that you go through these situations. We all go through it. We all face it. But the thing that you should avoid is being in that situation all alone without telling anybody or not seeking any help. That is where the dangerous point can come, because you can eventually commit suicide, and it's a very sad thing to do, right? So professional development is also about taking care of your mental health, right? It is very important, because if you are not mentally stable, if you are not physically stable, how can you professionally develop with people, right? So that is also need to be emphasized. Okay, right. So today we are going to talk about barriers to professional development in health and social care, right? So lack of time, like I told you last time, it is not because you don't have proper time management. We all have so much to do. If you have families to take care, you have family life, your children's school, children's homework, children's tuition. So that is why last time I spoke on behalf of all of y'all, saying that y'all need to be given extension, right? Other lecturers didn't think about it, but I thought on your behalf, because I'm not married and I don't have a family and I do not know what it is, but I can understand what my parents went through because of me when I was studying and when I was a student, right? They took care of me in everything. My education, the way they spent for me, when I fell sick, the way they didn't sleep, they took so much care of me. And I know the love that parents give. If you are good parents, that's a great job. And if you had loving parents, then you guys are blessed too, because I know how much they suffered when I felt sick, when I was upset. And I was also not an easy child. I had moods, I had anger. Sometimes when I'm stressed, I shout, and it's hard. Right now I feel guilty, but I didn't do it intentionally. But I know how much they tolerated with me, and I know what stress can do. So that is why I know you guys having family and children and career to do, and then doing this is not easy. That's what I said, that you guys need recall more time for your assignments, and because it's very new for y'all, right? So lack of time, that is one barrier. And then we said shortage of staff. So let's say in Rifka's company, there were 10 people before COVID, and after COVID, now 2 people only can come to work because only 2 people are not affected of COVID. So what happens? They have to cover the remaining 8 people's job, right? That is definitely a big barrier. They have to work more, they have to exert themselves more physically, mentally, emotionally, right? They don't have time to rest. Sometimes they don't have time to eat because now they're covering a shortage of staff. Lack of IT skills, that is also, I said, is an important thing. So if you don't know how to send an email, how to open an email, if you don't know how to work in Excel or in Microsoft Word or in PowerPoint, because these are things that you need to know every day in almost every job, right? Because you have to present something, you have to send a document, you have to write an assignment. It's all IT. Right? And shift patterns. So like, let's say, like I told this also I think last time, if you are someone working every day night shifts and you don't have any morning shifts, it is a barrier because your sleep is affected. You gain weight because you don't have sleep. You are more cranky, you're more irritated, right? So that can happen, right? That can happen. So you need to know, the person who is hiring or managing this place needs to manage this shift pattern properly. Okay, maybe Rifka will work Monday and Friday in the morning, but the remaining days she will have to work in the night. You have to be fair and reasonable. Lack of funding. This is a very now problematic thing in Sri Lanka with the crisis. They stop children from getting their morning meals because of the crisis. Or there are a certain shortage of medical supplies in the hospital, right? Lack of funding, right? So when you have, sometimes if the funding is coming, then it is taken by the government corruption. Something or the other happens, right? But these are all the kinds of barriers that can happen in professional development and health and social care. Anybody has any questions? These are the ones that we learned as barriers, and now we are going to learn about how we can overcome these barriers. Students, any questions you all have up until now?
No, miss.
Okay, right. Okay, Taranga, can you tell me? I will ask others also, but I like you to answer first. What is a possible way you can overcome barrier for lack of time? In your personal opinion, let's just discuss, students, because this is important. I need to know your own opinion. The first one is lack of time. How can you overcome the barrier of lack of time? What do you think can be effective methods to overcome this lack of time? In your opinion, what do you think? Go on.
I think we should assess previous details of what kind of hazards or barriers,
Okay.
and we can get future forecast of about that matter.
No, Janaka.
And
Janaka, my question is like, let's say lack of time. Let's say order vela nahe deyak karanna. What is the effective methods to overcome that? What kind of technique would you use? Your personal. Let me just ask personally. When you have no time and you feel very stressed out. Yes.
We have to do the time management.
Like how? That's what I'm asking. What is your time management technique, Taranga? What kind of technique would you use to manage your time? Something that you've done personally that has become successful for you. What do you think? Can you share with us?
First, I am making a list, miss.
Okay, I do
Yes.
this too. Okay.
Yes. And first, I am starting with the first thing, and I am trying my best to finish it.
Very good.
And then I am coming to next one, and like that, I try my best to finish all the work. But if I am having lack time, so I am keeping that other things to tomorrow.
Very good.
And I am trying to complete it tomorrow.
Okay, good. Okay, so you have like a to-do list and you prioritize what is important first, and then you give the next priority thing maybe today if you have time, or somehow tomorrow before the deadline. Okay, that's a good one. Rivka, what about you? What are your effective ways to overcome in terms of lack of time? Can you share with us what has helped you?
Okay, I will tell a personal experience of mine.
Please.
So there were times I am a night owl. I like to stay awake at night, and I wake up very late. So because of waking up very late, it's very hard for me to manage my time. So what I did was, so I tried to sleep a little bit early and to wake up at least 1 hour early, more than the normal time. If I woke up at 6 o'clock, I will make it at 5 o'clock.
Right.
So I had that additional 1 hour time to get my task done.
Well done. Okay. So can I ask you, you're a night owl because of your job, or is it because you prefer to work late? What is it? Because you work late?
I prefer to work late.
Right.
I'm normally a person like that. I can wake up and stay until even 4 o'clock in the morning. That's not a problem. But it's very hard for me to wake up in the morning.
Right.
Nighttime I can extend it up to any hours.
Okay.
Hours and stay, but yes, I don't know.
So, like, for example, let's say you have a lot of tasks to do and you have deadlines coming up. What are your techniques that you use to sort of finish this task on time? What are your effective methods?
Like I will like if there's 1 hour, I will divide my hour into slots, and then I will try to complete my work within that time frame. So in some work which I have not been able to complete, then I will try to try to do it in another the following day. I will do like that.
Okay.
But I will try to break down my time into slots and do my work.
Yes, that's a great one. Thank you, Rifka and Tarang. Other students, you all have your own techniques? Guys?
I addition something, ma'am. My I discussed with my minor staff, and I gave to I share my works, and they done with my official works. I talk about my official works. So if work loaded, I divide and I share with my minor staff.
Very good.
And they are effectively done, and they hand over to me after.
Okay, that is also a good thing. So like we always say, like if you are getting bogged down with work, it's no harm for asking for help, right? It's okay to ask for help if you have like a good supporting team who thinks, okay, we can help you and who are willing to help. That's a good thing. So like personally, so Rivka shared about her technique, Taranga. So I think all of us are more or less the same way. We try to break down our task, what is important first, and then we put the other things which are not so important maybe towards the 2 or 3 days after. So that's okay, right? So the first one, lack of time. Here they are saying when there is not enough time to step away from the day-to-day activities to the additional learning, it may be possible to work on the job. Observe a colleague performing a task new to you, ask questions, or provide mentorship to new staff. Like now, for example, Janaka said that he gives the work to a minor staff. So that is exactly like what is said here. Or if Taranga said they try to write down everything, what they need to do, and then what is important, they try to do that first, and what is not so important, they try to shift it a little bit after 2 or 3 days. So it's all up to you. So now, personally, when I was doing my master's, when I had to do my thesis, like Rivka, I stay up late because I had no option, because I come from lab at around 6 p.m. and I have to write my review and my proposal, and it is very stressful. So I have no time to sleep. So I stay up and I sleep after my prayers, and then sometimes after 1 hour I had to sleep and go back to the lab again. So it was the one of, and I used to remember I used to take 7 cups of coffee, 7 cups to keep myself up. That was the most, I think that MSc was very stressful. I don't know. There was never a day that I didn't cry, right? It was very hard. I wanted to quit. Even when I did my degree, I told myself I'm not doing any masters. But after finishing it, I told I'm doing masters. And after finishing my masters, I told myself I'm not doing anything anymore, but now I want to do it. This is myself because I'm ambitious, like most of y'all. Y'all don't want to stop learning. It's the same with me. At that time, you want to give up everything and you promise and tell yourself, this is it. I'm not going to study anymore. But eventually you will get the motivation again. And after you finish and complete it, you feel a sense of accomplishment, right? That's normal. Shortage of staff. So let's say, for example, like I said, because during the COVID, before COVID, there were 10 people who were working with you, and now all 8 have got COVID. It's only you and another person, 2 people. So what are you going to do in this situation? So you ensure that an infrastructure is placed for providing opportunities for CPD, that is continuation, professional development, and supporting career development will likely increase the staff recruitment and retention. So for example, sometimes it is not because of COVID. Sometimes people feel, okay, there is no increase in salary, there is no promotion, there is no concessions given for healthcare, nothing given, like they don't reimburse our transport money. What's the point staying in this company? Let's all resign. This happens, and this happens to this day, and it is very normal. So as a company, if you are running, if you are the CEO or the manager, they need to think, okay, some effective strategies. How can we keep our staff for a longer time? How can we make them happy, right? So one thing is, genuinely, you will give a promotion to the people who are really working and who are really showing growth and improvement to the company. Now, this I want to say is not like favoriting. So sometimes, especially in Sri Lanka, this is common. You see a female lady who is beautiful, fair, and the boss likes her, so she gets promoted and she gets a high salary, whereas the people who are like, not so good looking and but works day and night but doesn't get anything. And I feel this is actually discrimination, not fair, right? if someone who is average looking is getting a good pay for the company or a good profit to the company, that person should be promoted, given a high salary. The boss or the CEO needs to recognize who are the ones who are really talented and skillful, who are the ones who are deserving to be paid more, right? Now, even in our Asia, like especially in countries like even in Thailand, the moment they see a fair-skinned person like from America, USA, UK, their salary is 3 or 4 times more. That is the Asian mindset. But usually the fair-skinned people, their knowledge wise, their skills wise are very average compared to a dark-skinned person. So this is normal, and it is happening, but it is actually very unfair. So I hope like in the future that this cycle breaks. It's there in almost every Asian country. Even when you go to the European country, the white people will tend to favor their own fair-skinned people and put down the Asians. So that is there. So usually when you go around the world, Asians and Africans are the ones usually who are discriminated the most in terms of skin color. In Sri Lanka, we have discrimination for religion, for looks, for color, for everything, right? But hopefully that it will change. So why I am giving you all these advices is because one day, if you have the opportunity, if you are the ones given the position to take over a company or an organization, remember my advice: do the right thing at the right time, right? Especially when it comes to my students, I have very, very smart students, and I have very weak students, and I have students who are weak but who really put effort and try hard to really do a good job. So I have categorized all my students, and usually I observe my students very carefully, and it is very creepy because they don't know how much, to the extent that I observe. I observe them very silently. Their way they talk, their habits, their movements, I observe, and I can understand exactly what is going on in the student's mind. It comes to practice, right? So why I say is, if we want to break this vicious cycle of discrimination, regardless of age, gender, beauty, whatever it is, it starts with us. We doing the right thing for that particular moment, for that particular person. That is a must, right? If nobody has harmed you, right? If anybody has not done anything wrong to you, don't just put that person down or discriminate that person, but do the right thing because that is the right thing to do for that person at that time, right? So even in the shortage of staff, if a company CEO or the manager sees, okay, this person has brought a lot of profit to our company over the past 6 months, whereas the lady who is dressed beautifully but talks, so we have all this nonsense everywhere. Even in my organizations, there are certain types, the bosses, they like the women who are like beautiful and dressed very well, open, reveal, and they get, for no reason, they get promoted, right? This is a political thing that happens in every organization. Rifka, do you agree with me on this? People who are working in the sectors, not the guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not just a male bosses. Sometimes the female bosses also can do it for the good-looking guys. It's there. That's what I said. I don't put any gender. I don't say guys are like this. I don't say girls are like this. Actually, this is there in both the genders. It is there. So for example, I had a lecturer. She was very young. I think she was in her 20s. She actually scored really good marks for all the good-looking boys in the class. It happens. It really happens, right? So that is not a professional way to develop yourself. Like, especially now, in our school, the policy is a male teacher cannot touch a female student. But usually, like for me now, I have like 15-16-year-old boys. Like, even I try, like sometimes I give them a shot. Sometimes when they're naughty, I give them a pat. But even I realize even I shouldn't do that because I am a girl and I don't know, because boys are boys. You don't know how they perceive it. and I realize, okay, that is also sometimes that for me, if I have done that, I also feel that is not professional, because sometimes if another teacher sees what I do, like, you know, just a normal, sometimes I hit them on the shoulder when they do silly mistakes, because I get very angry after teaching, and they are very intelligent students, but silly mistakes they do, I just give them a like a small shot on the shoulder, right? And then they were, oh, Miss Afrida, I don't hit us, we will do correctly. But then I realized maybe I shouldn't do that too, because that is not professional. I don't hit any student, but sometimes for, like, you know, through a love, through normal professional affection, I just say so that they won't do the mistake. But I believe that even a woman, even a man, how we interact with the opposite gender is very important. I sometimes I try to remind myself, because sometimes I think, oh, they are like my younger brothers, but no, they are not like my younger brothers. I have to come back home and I will tell myself, no, they are my students. Because sometimes I feel very sorry for my students. Sometimes I like really care for them. I over care sometimes. And sometimes when I tell this to my dad, he says, no, you need to be more professional. So, right. So that is a reflective thing. I have to tell myself, remind myself how I behave, especially with the teenage boys, and how not sometimes, usually the teenage girls, when they see me, they come and hug me, like they think I'm their sister. But now I try to avoid that also, because the thing is, the people who observe can always take it in the wrong way. They can perceive it in the wrong way, and that can bring rumors to other people, to the management, and that can cause problem to you. So even if my intention was very good, and it's just that I wanted to be supportive and caring, the people who sees it can always interpret it in a wrong way. This is a reality about the society. හැම කෙනෙක්ම දෙයක් බලන්නේ හරි පටු විදියට. They always try to see with a narrow minded way. They don't want to look it in a broad minded way, right? So that is why professional development is important, which is something like, yes.
Ma'am, I think opposite gender attraction is the common situation in the scientific situation in the world, I think. But our reaction, all things depend on our reactions.
Yes,
So,
that is correct. Opposite.
We should react correct way, and we can get good results.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, what I'm trying to say is, like, my idea is, now even if I give a pat on a student for doing a good job, sometimes people can perceive it in a wrong way. Now, for example, I will never do it to any of y'all, because y'all are like really older students, but they are small students. But what I'm trying to say is, even for a teenager, a male teacher or a female teacher, how we conduct ourselves, even if we are doing it with the best of intention, we need to be careful, because what I'm saying is, the way the people around us can see it in a different way. That's what I'm trying to say. Opposite attraction is normal, right? And like you said, how you react is what matters. But what I'm saying is, situations, like, for example, now, like, even small children, they say that even if it's not your child, do not pat that child on the head or carry that child, because today the society is very messed up. Like, even for a girl to carry another child, another stranger's child, we must avoid, because the society is very, one thing is, parents also don't like it. They cannot know whether you are trustworthy. So unless they on their own introduce, okay, this is my daughter, then I don't know. I think you all can understand what I'm trying to say is, however much we can be professional, it is the better, because the lesser you are going to get yourself into trouble. That's what I'm trying to say. Because, like, what I'm trying to say is, we may do it with the best of intention, but the problem is the people who look at us around. Sometimes it's through the jealousy. Usually all my students are very friendly with me, because I'm young, I'm the youngest in that area that I teach, so they are very close to me. But the things is, the other older teachers, they can get jealous about it. They feel, okay, she's more this thing. So that is something you need to be mindful about. It's very normal, because a lot of people, through jealousy and through insecurities, can, frame you for a lot of things, and it has happened and it can happen. That's why So for me, including, I try to recall myself, okay, what could I avoid today? What now? Sometimes when I get angry, I really shout at them. But now I have found a better technique. Instead of getting angry, I just ignore them for like 2 or 3 days and they get upset because I ignore them. So what they do now is, because not to make me upset, because they want my attention, they do the work. So that is why I'm saying different techniques can be applied. How, and for me, professional development, because I'm a lady teacher, I know I should not be shouting all the time. Because if I keep on screaming, yes.
We can change our learning method or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our learning method, our teaching method, our behavioral method, including me, even though I'm a lecturer and a teacher, I too every day recall and review what I could do better to myself and to my students. Right? If you are a doctor, it is a different story because doctors have to have physical examination almost every time with the patient. But they cannot do now, if a man is examining a female body, he cannot examine a female body without a chaperone, without another female doctor. This is the rule in every country. Because if this male doctor examines a female patient and if the female patient feels that he crossed his limit, right, went beyond his limit, she can always go for an accusation. Sometimes she can even accuse a doctor for no reason, and that doctor could be in prison. Maybe he didn't do it in any bad way. That is why they say to protect the female, to protect the doctor, do it with a chaperone, because there's a witness who sees whether he did it in an appropriate way or a bad way, right? So, oh my God, students, in healthcare management, there are many dramas and many things happens around the world, especially in the UK, in USA, and I think even in Sri Lanka, right? There are there are many stories that happens. That is why we do this model, because you have to know like how we need to do professionally in these tasks, how you behave. So a doctor, how he has to take a, like for example, let's say he's a oncologist for a breast cancer, he's a breast cancer doctor. If you have to examine a female breast for a breast cancer, he cannot do it without a chaperone. He has to have a female doctor, because that we don't know how what is going on, like we do not know. That's why, so that's why this course is given even for the doctors. When they take an oath, they say you cannot form relationship with your patients, you cannot do unwanted examinations, you need to do it with a chaperone, you need to know how you talk to your patients, you can't scream, you can't shout, and even the same rule goes for your patients, teachers, for your students, everything. Okay. Lack of IT skills and resources. So we understood that this is also a barrier when you don't have proper IT skills and resources. So to overcome this, what we can do is employers can encourage the development of IT skills through additional training and aim to provide better access to IT resources, exploring funding options where necessary. So for example, like in schools, it is now and mandatory subject that every child should learn IT, like how to on the computer, off the computer, learn Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, how to make slides, how to share. Now, even though you learn all that, you have so many other things that's coming up with technology that you need to learn. Like, for example, even if it's PowerPoint, there are so many other features that we can still learn in PowerPoint, including me. I do not know all the features in PowerPoint, but of course, if I have the determination and the the time allocated and the discipline to learn the skills or the features in that PowerPoint, I can still learn, because not like our parents and grandparents' time, we have so much of resources that we can use today to learn. That is why I always say, if somebody says, oh, I am not fortunate like y'all to learn or to get a degree or to study. No, that is an excuse that you give. It is definitely an excuse. We are very blessed generation. I agree, we have our own challenges, and I know we have our own set of hardships, but it is a lie and an excuse that we give it to ourselves when we say, oh, you are smart. I'm not talented like you. I'm not intelligent like you. I don't have resources like you. No, that's a big lie, right? Today, if you want to earn online, you have so many online jobs that you can do and earn, and you can spend that online money that you earn for your education, and you can learn so much of skills on free on YouTube. You can put anything on YouTube to learn academic writing, referencing. You need to know to do some kind of a DIY. Anything that you want to learn, you have it in YouTube. Like for example, in my degree, I had a friend. She and I used to study every time together. Somehow she became very competitive. She didn't want to study with me. She didn't want to help. And she completely gave up on me, right? And my only best friend was my YouTube, because lectures also, they come, they don't interact with us. They just go, they read the slides and they bye-bye and they go, right? I was alone in my degree and I worked very hard. And today I have finished my master's, and that friend who just gave up on me, she couldn't even finish her degree, right? So, what I'm trying to say is, in life, you cannot give excuses. There are people with cancer in chemotherapy, and they do it whatever they need to do to finish whatever they have to finish. There are people who lost their legs and arms and hands and everything, and they still go on to the extent to finish what they have to finish. So it's always about your attitude, about your mentality, and about the discipline that you want to give into anything, right? So if you have the lack of IT skills, you have the resources everywhere. Google it, YouTube it, anything, right? You don't even need to go to the library. Tip of the finger, you can just go and browse it, and you can get the resources. So if the company finds out that they have hired employees with a little knowledge of IT skills, they should also be kind and understanding enough. Okay, maybe every weekday before they go home, we will give them a free workshop, let's say between 3 to 4 p.m., where they can improve their IT skills. So they make like a curriculum, whichever is important to the company, and they train them. This is very important. So I always tell students, if you know something, teach it to somebody else, because you will never lose it. And when you are in a difficulty and when you are struggling with something, that a good that you did to somebody in the long term will come back to you in a different way. For me, this is my life motto. Like I love to share all my own life experiences, is because I have been in my life, I have been through so many situations all alone. And I grew up with a family where my mom and dad, they loved me so much. They never let me to cross the road alone. They never sent me in a bus alone. I was like, I grew up with lot of love, lot of comfort. And now that I'm in Bangkok, everything I have to do on my own. Search for my apartment alone, go to the Sri Lankan embassy alone to certify my documents, go to the Thai consulate alone. And I never take any trains alone. I didn't even know how to read maps, because I was a very timid child. I only sat and studied and went and did well. That's it. I grew up with so much love and comfort and protection. But now see, I am thrown to the most challenging life, and I have to do everything on my own. And I love this. And my father today is very surprised that I am doing everything on my own, because my father never knew that I could do so much on my own, because he didn't let me do, because I am the youngest. He loved me so much and he took care of me so much. He didn't even want to put me in that risk. Okay, let me see if she can do. No, he wouldn't give that. He was so protective, right? But I always tell, the best thing that you can do for your kids is put them in challenging situations, make them to learn, grow, and make them to survive. That is the best thing that you all do. I do not suggest what my mom and dad did to me is a good thing. And I'm very, even though like I cry a lot when I have to do a lot of things on my own, now when I look back, I'm so happy about the things I accomplished, right? So I know all of us at one point, we have been only yourself will be your best friend, right? And for me, because I trust in my God and I pray a lot, that has helped me. And also the good things that I have done for other people has come in return.
Can't hear you, miss.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, miss.
Yes. What I'm saying is, if you have a skill, try to always impart that skill and knowledge to somebody else. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell here. Shift patterns. So aim to provide staff with flexible learning opportunities. Open or distance learning resources may help provide more flexibility. So for example, during the COVID pandemic, everybody had to work online. Nobody could go at site because of the situation. So you can train them through shift patterns. So let's say, like I told, if Rivka is now not used to working in the morning hours, and if she's willing to work in the night hours, and if there's another one who doesn't work in the night hours but loves to work in the morning hours, the manager could talk to these two and say, okay, Rivka and Taranga, can you all swap the time? Are you all okay? So Taranga is happy to work in the morning, Rivka is happy to work in the night. Okay, problem solved. So there is always a solution for every problem. It's just that you plan everything strategically and you analyze it and then you implement things accordingly. Okay. Any questions to overcome barriers? Any of your opinions in terms of lack of time, shortage of staff, lack of IT, shift patterns? Is there anything that you would like to share with me, students? Or is it clear? Is it clear, students?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, lack of funding. Janaka, what do you think when you have lack of funding, and what is your opinion, Janaka, in that situation? When you have lack of funding, what kind of things you feel can help? What do you think? Any students, Rifka or Metni, anybody else? What do you all think? Lack of funding in these situations, what do you think, Rifka? What is your opinion? Let's say you're working in a company. What is, yeah.
I think, ma'am, it should be unwanted thing for any other company. A lack of we should invest correct way and uh, and it will be a good investment for future for any other company.
Okay. Any other answers? Thank you, Janaka. Any other answers?
I am talking about the that day-to-day activities. If we are having lack of funding.
Okay.
Okay. Then first I am finding what are the things most important.
Very
But,
good.
Then I'm I'm go for it first. Then after I'm having money, I'm doing other things.
Okay, good. Any other suggestions, opinions? What about Rifka, your opinion in lack of funding? How do you think, Rifka? Let's say you're the manager in the company. How could you strategically find a solution for this?
I think downsizing would be one thing to do if there's a lack of funding. Downsizing, it can either be your inventory or it can be your staff as well. And yes.
Yes.
And also to we can implement ways to increase the funding.
Right.
Do some kind of projects to increase our funding.
We can do some social activities like
Yes.
that car washing things, some kind of things.
Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for, and you guys answered it. This is the exact answer. You can do fundraising activities, projects. Like for example, even in my school when I was in Lyceum, we had, like for example, sometimes the school doesn't give us money for certain projects. What we do is we do car washing and we raise that money. Or sometimes, like for example, I told you in the school that I taught, I wanted to teach students to PowerPoint. We didn't have a lot of multimedia projectors. So what my students and I did is we raised funds, like we had ice cream sales, then we put a movie and we raised money. Then we had actually a charu sale. We had like different. So my students were like very
When we are doing level project also, we are finding money like that.
it's okay. It's
A-level
okay.
project.
Exactly, you can do like that. So that is a mutual benefit. So now, for example, now children, like let's say, rather than going, like we have a good theater in the school. So like rather than they are going and watching a movie somewhere, we put it in the after school, like on a Friday, and they like to watch it with their friends, and they like to stay in the school. So they also benefit. So like we try to take per person 50 rupees. Like I'm just saying 3-4 years ago, right? So it's not a big amount for them. So they also benefit, like some relaxation after a heavy stressful week for them, and we also get something in return. And of course the whole multimedia projector is back again for them, so it's like a real win-win thing, right? So that's a good way. So if you feel you're running out of funds, you can always create your own projects for community based projects or fundraising projects, like anything, right? You can have some sort of a circus or like a carnival, right, where everybody can gather, sing, eat, different people bring their food items, they get sold. That's what I said, life is all about thinking creatively and out of the box. And actually that's what I'm trying to say. When I did these fundraising projects, I saw so much of talented students. Some were like amazing in making posters for these fun day. Like when I wanted to say that, okay, I need a poster saying that we are going to have a movie this particular time, they created beautiful posters. And then some were like very good in managing money, like very honestly, and they felt very happy that I trusted them and gave this responsibility, and they come and show me the accounts, miss, this much has come, we need this much more, miss, what will we do, we are having more than the budget, miss, for this we can do this, miss. So I realized, okay, children are not about only studies. If you tap their potential, you could see so much hidden in them, not just maths and science and English. They have so much of skills. And today the society does not accept only doctors and engineers and lawyers. This concept is now gone far away. Today we have more room for architects and interior designers, entrepreneurs. Like Taranga, she's running her own daycare center. Some people run their own cafes, own business, and they go very far. So it's all about identifying what they are talented and the potential that they have, and then you give that responsibility to further improve, right? Good. So you guys gave me the answer that I was looking for, right? So what are the different sources available for professional development? Can you all give me some answers based on the heading before we discuss in points? What are the different sources available for professional development, guys? What do you all think? Sources. What sources are there for professional development? Can you all tell me?
Researchers.
Good. Okay. What else? Sorry. What else? One answer is continuing education is a different source of professional development. Participation in professional organizations. So Taranga said researchers researching. There are also different sources for professional development. Training, very good. You can improve your job performance. You can increase the duties and responsibilities, approaches to professional development, skill-based training, job assignments, right? Workshops, seminars. Yes, that is why I always like encourage you all. If there is, even in Sri Lanka, if there is a like an exhibition, say book exhibition, say some kind of a seminar or anything, just go for it. You will never know. Sometimes you will meet somebody who can help you to introduce to a good business, or who can I introduce to some sort of a like a market, you know, or a stock, something, right? I want to emphasize this a lot in life. Without how to say, without personal interaction, right? Without network. ඒකනේ අපේ අද කියන්නේ network. You have to have a good network. You need to know friends. So for like even my MSc, like I was working with a friend, Danushka. He was from Ruhuna. I just finished, and he and I were the only people working in NHSL for the study. And he left and went to Bangkok for MSc. And he finished his PhD also, and now he's back in Ruhuna lecturing. Right? He introduced me also how to enter this scholarship in Bangkok. Right? So it's always the network, right? It's always the network, students. So you have to, that's what I always say. පුළුවන් තරම් හැමෝත් එක්කම හොඳින් ඉන්න බලන්න. Like what I'm trying to say is, you might not like that person completely, right? You might be hating that person, but always try to be professional with that person. You don't need to be their good friend. You don't need to be their best friend. But, you know, just a greeting, hello, hi, how are you? That's enough. That's more than enough. And try avoid talking about one person to the other person. Or අකමැති කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් ඒ කෙනා ගැන තවත් කෙනෙක්ට කියන්න යන්න එපා. Don't go to discuss about that person with other people. Maybe you can talk about that person maybe with your friend, a close friend outside the workplace. Maybe with your parents, maybe with your husband or wife. Sometimes you all are close with your children, means not like 9-8, but sometimes if you have children who are in their 20s, they can understand better, you know, or you can pray, meditate, do something. But I think you can, especially in workplace, don't discuss about your boss, about other work employees. This gossip has caused a lot of problems, because අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයා discuss කරන එක්කෙනා, if you are discussing about somebody, ඒ කෙනා අනිවාර්යෙන් දැනගන්නවාම තමා through somebody. Maybe the person you're going and talking about it will go and tell that person, මෙන්න ඔයා ගැන මෙහෙම දෙයක් කිව්වා, මෙහෙම වුණා. Like, you know, I know sometimes people can be very challenging to us. Sometimes අපි කිසිම වැරද්දක් කරලත් නැහැ. අපි හරියට වැඩේත් කරනවා. ඒත් මිනිස්සු අපි ගැන මේ වැරදි හොයනවා. So sometimes through hurt, you go and discuss with about your problem to another colleague. Don't do that, because I want to emphasize is, in your workplace, you will never ever have a friend. You will always have colleagues, right? And colleagues are sometimes not people to be trusted. For me, this is my personal opinion. I do not know about you. Maybe in a very rare occasion, you can have a colleague that is your friend. I maybe if that's so, that is good. For me personally, my friends are from my school and university. When I go to my job, I don't discuss, like they want to know a lot of things about me, right? You know, by relationship status, my everything they want to know. But from day one, I give that look that I am not comfortable to tell my personal things with any of you all. So they don't approach me anymore, right? So my advice is, that is a professional development. You don't need to tell about your life, and don't make them feel comfortable to approach you to get your personal information also, unless it's the HR, unless it's something like your boss for an important matter, then okay. You don't need to discuss anything else. Do your job, get paid, and go home. This is the best motto that you can follow in terms of professional development in your career. Because like lot of issues come because of this gossip and discussing about employees, or talking. Now I have when I work, I have a Japanese a teacher who is Japanese. He's 23, right? Now his policies, he's actually very close to me, but he's not very close to other people, because I think he doesn't like people who talks a lot, right? Usually when I go, I just do my job and I come back, and I think he likes that also. He's someone, he doesn't, Japanese people are usually, they do their work, hard working, දෙයක් වෙලාවටම කරනවා, තිතටම කරනවා, ගෙදර යනවා, එච්චරයි. කිසිම දෙයක් දන්නේ නැහැ. මොකක්ද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පෞද්ගලික ජීවිතේ, but usually he shares everything with me. That's a nature, because people, like, you know, they can sense who you are, right? So I also learned a lot from him. He When he comes also in the staff room, because he sees other people chatter talking a lot, he doesn't like. එයා තනියම තැනක හොයාගෙන මේ වැඩි ඉවර වෙනකන් till 4 o'clock he won't even come out, and only after the time is over he will come to take his bag, bye and he goes. That's it. So I learned a lot from him. Like, I realized when you talk less, you will have less problems in life, right? This is very important. Professional development is talk when is important. Talk when you feel you are being subjected to an injustice, something bad has happened to you. Okay, you need to talk, but you need to also be mindful when to talk and what to talk. Okay, that is very important. It's a very important professional development. Okay, students, please give me 1 minute. I will take a small break because my religious calling is going. I will just take 1 minute break. Okay, and I will be online. Give me 1 minute. I will mute it. Hold on. Okay, students. Yeah. So thank you for excusing me for that. So yeah. So if you have different, so what I try to say is always have a network in terms of developing your skills, in terms of developing your career, because you never know, by the people you meet, you will get to learn a lot of opportunities. You will be introduced to a lot of opportunities. How many of you all have like had the experience of through a friend or through a colleague that you all got to know maybe a job offer or a better something in life that you all got to know, okay, this particular hospital, this particular doctor is better, something in life. Have you all had an experience because through a network, getting to know something better? Yes or no, students? Anything through a network? Did you all feel you all got more benefit?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
We all had that. Okay, good. So if you get in the assignments like the different sources available for professional development, you all can emphasize on any one of these. Now, continuing education, all of you all didn't stop from your A levels or whatever you all were doing before. You all are still continuing education, and I am confident that you have learned a lot, right? You have learned from 3 lecturers, their own experiences. You've learned your academic writing. You all are writing on 3 different topics. You have to submit almost 6 assignments, right? Just for that particular module in each lecturer that you did with, right? And I feel the time that you all started, I feel like Janaka, even Lumal, Taranga, the way you all speak English compared to how in June, I feel like a great improvement, right? Because Rivka, you speak very well anyways. And I'm just saying the other people, I feel you have like really gained confidence. I see so much of improvement, right? And I'm confident by the time you all do the next assignment, your academic writing is also going to improve. I am confident you all have learned a lot. So that is something, can you all see how you all develop continuing education, right? And research, right? Now you all know what you mean by research, how you Google search it, either Google Scholar for a particular assignment, how you research and you write it, how you paraphrase it, right? And hopefully, whatever the reason that you all chose this healthcare management for, I truly pray and hope that you guys will get what you all want out of it. If it's something to go out of the country, or if you all want to go to your next level of education, I truly hope that you will get there, right? Even your way of thinking, I hope, has changed, right? Maybe you have found different approaches to improve in your responsibilities, how you think, how you speak, how you behave, right? That's what I told you all at the beginning also. Don't worry about passing assignments. Try to improve your practical skills from this course. What is it that you have achieved practically? Have you achieved something the way you think? Have you achieved the way you write? Have you achieved the way you speak, right? Or the way you treat other people, right? If that has improved, then I feel as a human being, this course has helped you to grow and to go further in life. And that is going to help you in your next step, be it in your career, be it in your family life, as a person, as anything, right? And skill based training. So, all this now, the way you all talk, now I feel most of you, when I ask for your opinion, you all love to say, Miss, can I give my personal experience? I love to hear like that. That shows that you all are confident and you all value your own voice. You value for who you are, you value your own individuality. That is why you all say to me like that, Miss, I want to share my own personal experience, right? That is excellent, because if it is anything that is very attractive for a man and a woman is your confidence. You can be the most beautiful person, the most best fair skinned person, but if you don't have that confidence, it's not worth it. But when you all talk to me, when you all share your opinion, your suggestions and your ideas, I feel you all have confidence. That is why you all open up, right? That is one reason I make you all to interact and talk, because I value your voice, your opinion, right? Okay. Goals and targets for a professional development plan. So let's just go through this. We have 4 development plan that we can talk today. So first of all, develop new set of skills. Now I need to ask a question. Taranga, no, let's start from Janaka. Janaka, we started this course from June. Can you tell me what are the skills you have learned, Janaka, from healthcare management? From this whole course, what is your personal skills that you feel you have improved?
Yes, I'm firstly I improve my English knowledge and speaking knowledge with around all us, and I um, educate and I learn how to manage in healthcare sectors related hospital, any other kinds of related healthcare sectors regarding organizations, how to manage and how to assess, how to keep records, how to how to do assignments, and how to paraphrasing, how to uh, uh, citations about that, and any other all round about that in uh, documentary and healthcare regarding about healthcare sector. Thank you for giving us and uh, any other lecturers and all level lecturers to thank to uh, thanking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janaka. Thank you for that sharing of your own opinions and what you feel you accomplished. That's great. Taranga, what have you accomplished in terms of skills? And what is your goal from this onwards? What is the skill that you feel you have improved from this, starting from June 12th? What have you accomplished? What do you feel you have accomplished?
I gain lots of things from this. This is my beginning. And how to do the academic writing, and so many things I learned from this. And also the how to handle the things in life, as well as the how to how I develop my career and other things. I learn a lot of things from
Exactly.
this.
Well done. Well done. So happy. So see, you have developed professionally because of the set of skills you learned and gained from June 12th until October 25th. So that's a great accomplishment. What about you, Rifka? What is your... I'm going to ask from everybody because I'm excited to know. Yes, Rifka.
Yeah, firstly, I feel I have, my academic writing skills have become very good.
Well done.
Because it's been like a very prolonged time since I've started writing. Normally, we don't, write these kind of reports and essays. I think after schooling, it's been a long time since I've done this. And so with all the tools and with all the techniques which you have shared with us, it's been really easy for us to do the, to improve our academic skills. And also this is a career which is very different to which I have done. So I have learned about new things with experiences of others. Also, I have learned how to, face situations. Stuff like that.
Good, Rifka. Excellent. Thank you for that answering. Well done. Metni and Lumal. Metni, can you go on next year? What is your experience? What is your goal? I mean, what have you learned? What have you learned? I think you are right after A levels, right? Yes. Is she online yet, or I'm not sure who is? Okay, Metni is not there. Roshan, what about you? Roshan, what is your experience in terms of skills? What have you gained from this healthcare management course? Lumal? How are you, Lumal? I think you had dengue and I hope you are doing well. If you can hear me and talk, what is your goals, your skills that you have gained from this healthcare management? I got good 3 answers and I feel very happy. That is very good. I'm very happy that you all feel that you all have gained so much. Lumal, are you there? I don't see Fayaz at all in from these sessions. Has he left the program? Taranga, was he there in the morning, afternoon sessions? Since last week, I didn't see him.
I can't remember. Miss Tilani was there last time.
Tilani. Tilani messaged me she will not be able to come today. Fayaz, what about Fayaz? What about
I
him?
asked last time, I think.
I think today he was not there.
He's not there because last time also he was not there for my session. So I don't know whether he has quit the program. I do not know. So anyway, I think Lumal and I think Shihara is here. Shihara is also not here. Okay. So Lumal and Roshan, I think either they are shy to talk or their microphones are not working, assuming that. Anyways, the three of y'all, thank you for sharing what you all feel you all gain. That shows that this course is worth it for y'all, right? So again, let's go through the slide here. Goals and targets of professional development plan. Develop a new set of skills. So just like all of y'all shared, you all said that you all have gained confidence to speak English well. You have learned to do academic writing. Rivka said she learned a lot of tools, right? And then she said that what she's doing is very different to what she's actually working on. But of course, it's not gonna be a loss because you will learn so many things which you can also implement in your own career, right? And Taranga said she has learned how to deal situations in her own life, right? For her, maybe it's her personal life, maybe how she has to handle her own workplace. That is why, students, we educate ourselves. Why we do education is experience can help us to overcome maybe financial challenges, family problems, your children. Everything in life is a challenge if you go to see it. If you are married, your husband will be a challenge. For husband, your wife will be a challenge. Your children will be a challenge. Your career will be a challenge. You, your own self, is a challenge. Sometimes I find myself, why do I get upset when people disappoint me? And for me, I find myself a challenge. Or sometimes I would ask myself, when students disappoint me, why do I react this way? Why do I shout at them this way? And I feel sometimes upset. Why didn't I hold on? Why didn't I be more patient? Why didn't I have better emotional control? I ask this from myself. And because we, our own self is a challenge to ourselves, right? Sometimes, for example, if men are having addiction for alcohol or cigarette smoking, isn't that a challenge to themselves? They cannot give up that addiction, right? And how much is it causing harm to themselves? So sometimes we, our own self, is a challenge to ourself itself. Forget about your pay, I mean your husband or wife, your children, or your career, or your employee, or your colleague or friend. You, your own self can be a big challenge to you. Sometimes you wonder, okay, why am I waiting for the last minute to do something? Why can't I, finish something so fast? Why am I like this? Why do I get hurt so fast? Why do I take things so seriously? Why do I take things to my heart? I ask this from my own self. But like I said, if you can analyze and if you can learn from it and if you can better yourself, then that's a great achievement, right? So develop skills by taking online or in-person courses. That's what I told you. If you want to learn a skill, you cannot give the excuse by saying, oh, we don't have the resources, we don't have the time, we don't have the money. No, there's a lot of things you can learn online for free. If you go to Course Hero, if you go to, for example, what is that other one? Course Hero, another one I cannot remember. I think I'll share with you all next week the sites. You can learn a lot of online things. I'll definitely share the links with you all. I will remember this. If you want to learn something like, let's say you want to learn IT or statistics or maths, or if you want to take a university course online, there Course Hero. It's Course Hero, COURSEHERO. You can sign up for free for a 1 month, and you can do the course, and you can get an online certificate also, right? And those certificates are quite valuable because they train you for different skills, right? So you can do like that, okay? Or you can go shadowing a co-worker. Shadowing means, let's say you are a newcomer to the organization or to the company. You follow your senior or the one who has worked for a long time in the company to see how he works, how he operates the machine, how he manages the finances. So like that, you look at him to gain the knowledge and the way how it is done, so that you also know how to work in the company. See, going back to school, Sri Lanka is the one that we say, okay, after 18 you shouldn't go to school or your life is over. But in USA, in UK, some people, they go back to school. Sometimes, you have a lot of teenage pregnancy where the girl has got pregnant at the age of say 16, 15, and she has dropped out of school and she couldn't finish her school or her university. So she wants to take care of the baby. Sometimes the father has left her, so she takes care of the baby by doing some part-time job in a restaurant or a cafe or a supermarket. But after, let's say, in her 20s or 30s, she decides, okay, I want to go back to school. I want to finish my school. I want to do a degree. I want to really be a qualified lawyer. Like that. It happens, right? You can go. You can do it. Okay. And among other ways, think about what fits your schedule. So, for example, now Rifka says she prefers to work in the night than in the morning. That works best for her, no problem. For me personally, I can work night also well, morning also well, but my health situation says I prefer to do it in the morning. So, usually, if I have to work a lot, I sleep early by 9 and I wake up at around 3 or 4 in the morning, and at a stage I will work. That is my nature. But when I had to do a lot of work, like my research time, I stay up late till like 4:35 in the morning. That's me, and then I go direct to the lab. It depends on my situation. I can function well both night and morning, but as preference, I prefer morning because of health situations, right? Healthy wise, it is better to work in the morning for me. You develop your workplace skills. So workplace skills are the tools and practices that help people in a workplace to connect and interact smoothly with one another. Like I said, you have to always interact with people. You have to have a good network. Even if you don't like someone, don't show it openly and don't have the hatred inside the heart also. You don't need to be their good friend. You don't need to be their best friend. Just professionally say hi, hello, how are you? If you have something to do with them, you do it professionally and you exit out. That is the best way. Don't discuss about them with somebody unless it's a very close friend outside workplace. Okay? Take up a leadership responsibility. We are all leaders. We are all inborn leaders and we all have that within us. Taranga is a leader for her daycare. She leads the daycare. She has to take care of the students, the parents, her own work. So she's a leader there, right? So if you feel you want to have more leadership qualities, try to go for workshops, try to improve public speaking, try to improve your writing. There are so many things you can learn online for free. If you feel you are running out of money to do this online, by paying, you can still do it online for free. Just you need to allocate your time and be disciplined. Expand your professional network. So you can get connected via LinkedIn, via Facebook, right? You can go for seminars, you can connect from workshops. If you feel somebody is helpful and approachable, you can say, hey, can I add your number? I need to get some advice and opinion about this. And usually 95% of the time, people are supportive and helpful and willing to help. Just that you need to know who are the ones who are going to help you. And for those people, you can get connected, right? So these are the ways you can develop a professional plan in order to get your skills and plan successful across. Okay. Any other questions or any other opinions? Because we are done for today. Any other opinions that you all feel you all can do, students, in terms of sets of skills other than what I mentioned in the slide? Next week, I'm going to show you some good 3 videos that I have selected. I want to show you today, but we had a lot of discussions to carry on, so we will continue with the video. Next Saturday, I will have a class that I missed on the 10th of August, I think. 10th of September, no? Yeah, 10th of September, I missed a class. So I'll have it on Saturday and Sunday next week, inshallah. Any questions, Rifka, Taranga, Janaka, Lumal? Anyone has any question, or are we good to go? Is it clear? Students, is it clear?
Clear, ma'am.
It's clear, ma'am.
Anything else y'all feel y'all can add way to develop other than this? What are the other ways y'all feel y'all can improve skills? Rifka, do you have any other opinion in your way? What do you think? Anything else that you feel we can add? Anything else that you all feel? You can expand your professional network. You can take up leadership responsibility. You can develop your workplace skills. You can develop new set of skills. If I just want to ask one last question, what is one extra skill that you all have learned in these 9 months? Other than from like outside this healthcare management, any new skill that you would like to learn? Rifka, any new skill that you would like to learn in future for your career or for your personal development? What is a new skill that you would like to learn? Can you share with us? Aside from the skills you just told a while ago, any other skills you would like to?
I think it's not a skill, but I just want to know. I'm like, when it comes to career choices,
Right.
I'm all over the place because I
Right.
don't know. Maybe I think the reason for that maybe that I have, multiple skills.
Right.
So it's a little bit hard for me to, to focus on one, career. So I will be like all over the places. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I want to pursue my career in this field, and then I will have another skill, which I will think, okay, it's better to pursue my career in. So I'm like little bit all over the place person. So I want to have that. Yes, I want to be that person who can, make a decision, like that.
So if you don't mind, can I ask you what is your background in? Is it in science or like I know you work in a call center for dialogue, but what is your background? Do you have a background in science or?
No, I do not have a background in science.
Right. So
I did my A levels in art stream. I did it in languages. I did English literature,
right.
economics, and Sinhala. I did those were my subjects.
Well done. Okay.
And then my teachers actually they wanted me to continue. They wanted me to, for me to kind of go, for me to follow and what do you call? Uh, uh, Sorry, I lost the word. They wanted me to go to the university and do my studies, but I was not a person interested in that at that time.
Right.
So I just wanted to go into a career. So I think for the sake of a career, I went to went for the call center and I did my job there.
Right.
So I was all over the place. So, and after a while, when I realized I could have done my higher studies, I could have acquired that. I felt it was too late.
No, that's what I want to stop you there. That is why I keep on encouraging everybody, regardless of age, regardless whether you're married, regardless whether you have a child or a baby, if you must, you take a break, but don't give up on your dreams. Now, for me, now I have a master's degree and I'm quite young, and people are very amazed. Now, for example, many people they say we are shocked that a Muslim teacher has gone so far in life because the other country they say by now you in if my friends by now because that is a mentality that they have. If you are a Muslim and you're a teacher, you are married and you should be having like 3 to 5 babies, right? That is the mentality that people still have about us, right? Even in this school, international like teachers, they say we are, to be honest, I'm the first Sri Lankan Muslim who has come outside of Sri Lanka to do a MSc scholarship in my master's. There are Sri Lankan students who are Buddhist but not Muslims. I'm the first Sri Lankan Muslim to come out of Sri Lanka to go this far in life, right? And now there are people who are like 37 who are starting their masters, so they are very shocked how I finished it at a young age. So it's all about your determination, right? What your priority is. So if you couldn't go to university and you regret and now you think you're too whatever is okay, it's too late, no, don't say that. There are people At 30?
Yeah, the thing is, ma'am, the thing is now I have two kids.
Okay.
I have two kids, and my husband is the one who encouraged me to,
See, that's
start
nice.
my studies, and I do because I used to work until I conceived my first child. Until
Yes.
I got, until I was pregnant, I used to work. So
Mhm.
last place of work was a bank, a
Mhm.
bank back office. So
Mhm.
after that, I had a very prolonged career break.
Mhm.
And then my husband now he's planning to migrate. So he wanted me to learn a skill which will help me to, pursue
Very good.
a
Very,
career,
very good.
which
So that is
has a,
that's the thing. So that's what I'm saying for everyone, including Taranga, Janaka, everyone. Support your spouses if you all are married. Support your children if you all have, right? And don't feel that you are too old to get these skills and knowledge regardless. Now, for example, Taranga's story for me, still I remember she said she had issues with the place she worked. She tried to approach the people to stop what she was going through. It didn't work, so she started her own thing, right? So don't take as age or time or your gender or your physical, whatever it is, as a challenge or a barrier to go where you want to go, right? I know it is easily said than done, but if you have that goal in head and that intention, I want to do this, trust me, life will unfold for you eventually. You just need to do what you have to do at at this particular moment. Even if you have to update a CV, then start doing that. Update your CV. If you have to get connected to people, then start by getting connected to people, and eventually you will get there, right? So thank you, students. I think if you all have any suggestions or anything that you all need to add for this, you can talk to me again during the next session. Thank you, Janaka, Tharanga, and Rishka, the ones who interacted, gave your suggestions and opinion. I think I learned a lot from your stories too. And thank you for the time. And I hope your assignments are going well. You have time till 14th of October. You all can still send me the drafts if you all want to get some opinion and feedback. And I will be more than happy to give my feedback. Okay. So I think I will stop the session and have a good Sunday, guys. Bye bye.
thank you, ma'am.
You too,
Thank you
miss.
very much,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much.
You're welcome. Bye. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, madam. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.